I gotta tell you, I'm sick.
Are you sick of being sick?
Sick and tired. Well, listen, so Brienne had a cold, right? And it seemed like it was a weird cold. Like it was just super mild, and it seemed like she was getting over it before it even started, and it was like not really a big deal. But even taking that into consideration, I thought I did everything right. I was taking the vitamins.
You moved out.
Keeping my distance, like severely. I was sleeping on the couch. I was like, nope, I don't need that. We share a lot of things.
With your mom?
No.
Well, there's your mistake.
We share a lot of things, but this is not one of the things I need. And I thought I was like completely in the clear because she was seemingly over it. She was done. She was like good to go, and I was still fine. And then that cockiness,
whammo!
Yeah, bit me in the sinuses. So I'm going to sound a little nasally today, but I am on the up and up.
Fine to me.
I'm on the mend. So hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
The B-Team.
Yeah. That's Carl.
Dad over there somewhere is Brady.
And I feel so subdued. Like my energy level feels like, feels low.
So I got to step it up a bit. I got to be hyperactive, engaged.
That was a sentence. That was good job.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. Note to self: Carl's improv skills need a bit of work. So it's a movie news show. It's been another week, which means more news has happened, and we're here to talk about it.
Stuff. Seems kind of slow news week, though.
Yeah, it's a little like compared to our other movie news episodes. It is a little trailer heavy, which was something that I had kind of alluded to might happen because CinemaCon was last week.
Yeah.
And CinemaCon, for those who don't know, it's not like Comic-Con, it's not like D23, it's not like Star Wars Celebration. What CinemaCon is basically all the studios, like they're not announcing new things at CinemaCon. That's a Comic-Con thing. That's a Disney thing. That's a whatever. What CinemaCon is all of the studios make presentations, and the audience, instead of being sweaty lightsaber-toting fans, are the heads of movie theaters, the owners of movie theater chains, and the high ups and the distributors and the all of the big wigs and black suits and blue suits and whatever you call it in the theater cinema world are there. And basically what it is the theater saying, look, this is what we have coming up this year. Here's a look at it. Here's a brand new trailer. Here's the first 20 minutes of the film. Here's whatever, in order to entice the theater owners to book up a certain number of screenings for their theaters. So it's kind of like a big sales pitch to the people that are going to put the film on the screen in front of your eyes. And as is typical of every other year, they showed a shit ton of trailers at CinemaCon. A bunch of completely exclusive and never been seen before first-time trailers at CinemaCon. Unlike previous years, a very, very, very small fraction of those made their way online for us to see as well. Like, it's always the case that there are some exclusive trailers. There's some trailers that you only got to see if you were at CinemaCon. They're not going to drop online for another couple of weeks, blah, blah, blah. But this year, the ratio was just, like, bananas. Like, we got almost nothing. So it's a little disappointing. The other thing that happens at CinemaCon is surprise screenings. Sometimes they're like scheduled screenings, but quite often they're surprise screenings. So, for instance, 2 years ago, Pete and I talked about this on the podcast when it happened. 2 years ago at CinemaCon, when we were gearing up for Ghostbusters Afterlife, right? Jason Reitman and his father, Ivan Reitman, were out on stage. They were talking about the film. They were like pumping it up. They showed a trailer. We're super excited. We're happy with Paul Rudd, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's cheering and happy and blah, blah, blah. And then Jason Reitman says, and now you guys are going to watch it. And everyone in the convention center kind of look at each other and like, what? And the lights go down and they played Ghostbusters Afterlife and everyone watched it. This year was not a surprise screening, but I know for sure the two films that they did screen were Disney screened The Boogeyman, which is a new upcoming horror film they've got, and Warner Brothers did screen The Flash. So there's a large group of people out there now who have seen my man, Michael Keaton, back as Flash. We did get a new trailer from that. Obviously, you have not seen it.
No, unfortunately, I missed out on this event.
No, you did not see the new trailer. The trailer they dropped online.
No.
The trailer.
I thought you were talking about going to the.
No.
Yeah.
They dropped a new trailer online for it. It's neither here nor there. You don't have to watch it. This is part of the agreement. Blah blah blah.
I have fulfilled my contractual obligations on this front.
The one thing I will say from the trailer, and it's not a spoiler. This doesn't give away the plot. It doesn't give away anything. There's this amazing moment. In the first Flash trailer that we watched and talked about, when he's got the "Yeah, I'm Batman" line. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's a Michael Keaton Batman line. Like, this is amazing. There's this great moment in this trailer where it's Michael Keaton. He's got the bat suit on, but he's not wearing the cowl, right? So he's got the after the battle or about to go into battle appearance. And I don't know if who he's talking. We don't get to see who he's talking to in this scene. Probably he's in the Batcave, so it's probably just one or several of the Barry Allens. But he says, you want to get nuts? All right, let's get nuts. And it's like, it's so good. Like it's literally, it's akin to in the Ahsoka trailer when she said the words "heir to the Empire." We're just like, oh my God. Like it's so on the nose. It's such fan service, but it's so perfect.
It's a massive member berry.
Yeah. But it's good. It's
a member apple.
Listen up, Star Wars. Listen up, Mandalorian, because it's a member berry done properly, done well, a justified member berry.
That's a little debatable, I think.
No, it's Michael Keaton. I think
there's a little favoritism in there.
At this point, someone in the Flash movie could say, "Tell me, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm for this. It does not matter. You can say whatever, and I'm here for it." Yeah, inexplicably, you could have Christopher Walken's character show up again, and I'd be, Max. What was it, Max Shrek? It doesn't matter. Just have him come back. I don't care. It's
Danny
Michael
DeVito
Keaton.
waddles into scene.
Yeah, eating a fish, wearing a vote Cobblepot button. Like just whatever. It's fine. Michelle Pfeiffer. I would still. You and I talked about this. If Michelle Pfeiffer freaking shows up in this movie, I'm going to wet my pants. I will full on owe the theater a cleaning deposit on the chair, because that will be nuts. Even if, like we said, I don't need her in the Catwoman costume. I just need Bruce and Barry to be in the Batcave talking, and Selena Kyle, who at this point, they allude to the fact that they, stayed together, got married, started a family, whatever. She comes down the steps and reminds Bruce to, close the damn cupboards in the kitchen, or like whatever it is, right? Like it'd just be so good.
Pick up your bat underwear before you leave the bathroom.
Yeah, damn it, Bruce. Okay, so anyways, let's talk about some of the trailers that we did get from
All right,
CinemaCon.
Let's get to it. The meat.
So first up, we have the trailer. The first trailer has dropped for the prequel to the Hunger Games franchise, a huge franchise in its time. not only a big book series, but a massive film series. I would say arguably, and I don't know what came out prior to Hunger Games, but regardless of what did come out, Hunger Games is definitely what launched Jennifer Lawrence's career. Like, as an actor, her notoriety comes from her playing Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. It was massive, right?
It would be like the thing that, took her off to pretty much
propelled
play
her.
A number of other...
Made her a household name.
Yeah.
So we have the trailer for the prequel, and it is a prequel based off a book. Like, whoever, I can't remember who's the woman that writes it doesn't matter. The Hunger Game prequel book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I'm going to tell you right now, I get the title because that's also the title of the book. It's a dumb title. It's just a mouthful of marbles and whatever.
Doesn't seem at first glance like it's going to mean a whole lot.
No. Now, have you seen the Hunger Game movies?
I have. Yes.
Okay. So
I've not read the books.
Oh,
I've
have
only
you?
seen the movies once.
So I've seen the movies maybe twice. I've not read the books. And so maybe you'll be able to offer some insight here, because watching this trailer for The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes,
Sorry,
which I assume
I think you misunderstand. I said I have not read the books.
Oh, you've not read the books. Okay. I was very surprised. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I have not. I don't know how you misheard that, but yeah. I can't offer you any insight.
I can't. I just
you could probably offer me insight because you've seen the movies more than once.
Instantly, my mind went back to like Lonely Single Carl days, and I'm like, man, the man read. Like, it was worse than I thought. The man read The Hunger Games.
No, it was never that bad.
So anyways, watching this trailer, I mean, there's definitely things in it that are interesting, that appear interesting to me. We get to see the young adult version of Donald Sutherland's character, President Snow. So that's kind of cool. I guess there'll be, some sort of nostalgia tie-in there. We get to see how the Hunger Games started and came to be. But like, outside of that, like, I'll tell you right now, my favorite four Hunger Games movies? My favorite Hunger Games movies are the first one, followed kind of closely, not so closely, by the second one. The third one was just completely exposition. Like, nothing happens in that film. It felt very much like part one of two, and was just like, this entire film was just set up. And now I got to wait a year and a half for what this was setting up for. But I really enjoyed the first Hunger Game and the first two Hunger Games because they were actually about the game, right? Like, it was the premise was there. We got to see people competing in the Hunger Games. And that, obviously, that's coming back. We're going to get to see that again. But having not read the books, my one criticism, or my one like wondering coming out of watching this trailer is this going to differentiate enough? Like, is the story that they're telling and how it all started, is that going to be interesting enough to make this not just feel like another rinse and repeat? Because I'm just kind of like, well, what is, like, so the again, having not read this prequel book or any of the other books, the trailer to me just felt like, oh, okay, yeah, like there's all the different regions or whatever they're called. They're they're not regions, whatever they call the different sectors that all.
I know what you're talking about. Everyone else knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, that everyone's broken up into, and then there's going to be a Hunger Games, and they're all going to try to kill each other, and you blah blah blah. And there's like the visual effects in this trailer look great. Obviously, there's going to be some beautiful eye candy to look at as far as like monsters and things that are happening within the world. but it just felt very kind of rinse and repeat to me. Like, except for a couple of like political plot points that are going to happen here, I've seen this. I've already seen this. And I don't know that, it's one thing to rinse and repeat. And I get that anyone who's a big fan of the books and have read the book to this film are going to be ecstatic probably and are going to go see it. It's a little difficult, I think, when you're to the general movie going audience, like in terms of how well will this film do financially. In terms of the general movie going audience, it's a prequel that doesn't have any of your main characters in it, right? Like, you don't have Jennifer Lawrence, you don't have Josh Hutcherson or whatever his character's name is, PETA, I think. So you don't have those franchise carry-throughs, and they're trying to do it a little bit by it's baby President Snow, it's blah blah blah. Look at this.
Some
Look
of the
at that.
antagonists.
And so I'm still interested in it. I'm still gonna watch it because it's got those ingredients that I loved from the first two, and I am fascinated in, okay, how did this start? Like, what was the, as long as it's a fascinating story, then great. But it just felt a little rinse and repeat to me. And I wonder if that's going to, that with the combination of our main cast members missing, if that's going to hurt it. Anyways, you saw this trailer as well. Having apparently not read the books, you slacker. What say you?
That wasn't on the homework for this episode.
Yeah, it's like I need you to read 4 novels between now and next week. Yeah. What say you?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to think. I enjoyed the first couple movies, like you said. The last couple were fairly forgettable. Like, I don't even really remember. I barely remember what happened in the second one, and I don't remember hardly anything that happened in the other ones. Yeah, I don't know. It's the premise of the Hunger Game movies and books is like a really interesting one, which was completely ripped off from a Asian movie, but nonetheless, they're still very interesting premise that you can do a lot with. And I don't know, like, my first thought coming to mind watching this trailer and just now hearing you talk about it keeps coming back to kind of like, this feels like Star Wars in the 90s, late 90s.
Right.
Like, but then the big difference between the two is I feel like Star Wars had a lot more to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars, it had a lot of content made and approved that became canon after the movies were released, right, to create and flesh out this massive galaxy and make it feel real and lived in, and something that fans of the franchise could really dive into and go really deep into this world.
Right.
This has got a couple movies, a handful of movies and a handful of books, and that's it. Like, it doesn't have as much depth there. So I feel like jumping backwards, making a prequel, you're kind of doing the same thing that George Lucas did. But I feel like they're going to have the same problem that a lot of people have with episode 1, and that it'll be a lot of politics.
Yeah.
To make it, to create this kind of the games, the Hunger Games.
Right.
If that's what this is about, then there's going to be a lot of political maneuvering and stuff, which is intriguing in its own right. But for me, who's not a fan of the franchise, the only memorable movies were the first two, which were, I don't know, again, I can't remember the other ones, but correct me if I'm wrong, were more kind of action and games focused, right? There was a lot less intrigue and espionage and political stuff going on.
Yeah, the second two, like the third and fourth film, I don't even think, maybe in the fourth one you get to see, like, there's games happening again. I'm not sure. But they're definitely, like, it's not even, there's no Hunger Games in the third Hunger Games. It's because it's all like they're fugitives and they're on the run and they're trying to tear down the system and stop the games from ever happening again and
right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So there's a bit more kind of espionage and intrigue and stuff. It's still more action going on. I just feel like this one's not going to be, it's not going to feel the same in terms of momentum and
right.
the pacing.
Now, I was crapping a little bit on the lack of cast. Obviously, we saw Peter Dinklage in the trailer, and I'm all for anything that's got Peter Dinklage in it. Jason Schwartzman is in this. Now, that's never a bad thing, but I also don't know how much box office draw, if any, Jason Schwartzman actually has. So, you know, it is what it is. I am intrigued by the lead female in this, which is Rachel Zegler. And this was something I was going to bring up on another episode of the podcast this week, but it's worth bringing it up here as well. So Rachel Zegler, who's playing Lucy Gray Bard, I guess, in this, she's our main protagonist. These are her acting credits. Listen, the very first thing that she was ever in was 2 years ago when she appeared in West Side Story. So not bad that the first acting gig you get is in a Steven Spielberg film, right? Yep. A very high profile remake done by Steven Spielberg. The very next acting credit that she has is she played, and we're going to talk about this in another episode later on this week, she played Anthea in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So the second job you get is in a tentpole comic book film blockbuster-esque movie.
Yep.
Okay, not bad. Then she's doing voice work in a movie called Spellbound that's coming out. She's got an upcoming project called Y2K. But then the next two things that she's in is obviously Hunger Games. And she is Snow White in Disney's upcoming live action Snow White remake. So what a trajectory.
She's got a credit here for Power of the Dog too.
For which?
I'm looking at her Google thing. Power of the Dog. It was a Benedict Cumberbatch film, but modern day cowboy. I'm looking at the actual. It mustn't have been a big role because.
No, I don't think it was probably uncredited. But yeah,
she's not in the like top cast listings, but on her movies, like Google movie listings, she was in it.
Power of the Dog?
Yeah.
I think that might be.
She's not on the IMDb listing for top cast, but.
No, yeah, I'm wondering if that's.
Google's saying she was.
I'm wondering if that's a scenario where, because Google will, like, once Google's given you all of the actual relevant results, they start throwing some things at you that are close enough. So I'm wondering if she actually even was in that, or if that's just Google not being as vetted in terms of that type of thing, and as strict with their search results as something like IMDb is. But either way,
yeah, that's weird.
Either way, it's a hell of a career trajectory, and I'm intrigued. It definitely, her being in Shazam Fury of the Gods is not an issue that I have with Shazam Fury of the Gods. I thought she was fantastic in it, and I enjoyed her character. So, either way, I don't know. We're going to kind of have to wait and see. I think this might be, I mean, it's got the name power, right? At the end of the day, it's the Hunger Games. And so it's going to do some approximation of well. It's just kind of too soon to know. Moving on, another trailer that we got is a trailer for Disney's new film, Wish.
Something new from Disney.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I see, and I'm not surprised because, as I've said, Disney does this all the time. Just nobody pays attention to it. But
they should do it more.
But this intrigues me. It intrigues me. This trailer I thought was great. The musical numbers seem fun. The animation is fine. Like it's on point with Frozen and Tangled and whatever else.
Yeah. I'll go ahead. I'll share my points later.
Well, I was just gonna say I think I'm intrigued by this more than I am other things that come out, like other animated projects that come out, whether they be by completely other studios like DreamWorks and Illumination, or if they come from ones that are closer to the chest like Pixar. I think stuff like this intrigues me more, or makes me stand up and take notice more, because there's this inherent importance to a trailer like this, to a film like this, because suddenly, once a trailer like this comes out, or when a film like this comes out, this isn't just another animated film that's coming out. This is Asha, I think, is the main character in this film. Asha is kind of essentially Disney's newest Disney princess. And so it's just got this, like, this is the character that's going to show up in Disney parks alongside Cinderella and alongside Snow White and alongside Rapunzel and so it's there's something about it. There's something about, you've got your prince, you've got your princess, you've got your magical story, you've got your, whatever
talking
else.
Animal.
Yeah, this is Disney proper. This is mainstream, hardcore Disney.
Yeah.
And so there's just something about that, in the same way, like you can have great characters or whatever in a Pixar film, and it's like, oh, it's the newest Pixar film. But this is the new Disney princess. This is the one that's going to be up there with Moana and Elsa and whoever else. And so it's just like, I don't know what it is, but Disney, just because of the reputation that they've built, that there's a sort of a no pun intended with Disney, there's a magic to the idea of introducing one of these new characters to us. And it makes me more interested right off the bat than I think any other new animated project does. All of that aside, I think this trailer looks great. I thought it was fun. It's entertaining. And I'm all for it. But you have thoughts as well, so share them.
Yeah, my thoughts are similar. Like, this is seems like Disney proper, like you were saying, and it has the potential to be kind of the next Frozen kind of wave of craziness for kids wanting to be for Halloween, and probably potentially have that song that everybody's singing and gets sick of, and like it seems like and looks like a Disney, kind of a traditional Disney film, animated film in that aspect. And with that, like you were saying, you thought the animation looked good. I watching it, I thought, man, there were a few moments where it felt like they were trying to blend some kind of traditional animation look and style into their digital animation.
Yes. Yeah.
And I thought, oh man, this looks cool. Like this looks like traditional drawn animation.
Especially there's this little gold, whatever the little gold character that floats around. There's a moment where he's dropping like gold dust onto these flowers.
Yeah.
And it full on looks like could have been done in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other moment that kind of looked like that was right near the beginning when they're blowing the dandelion things. That one looked very 2D. Just before the star comes down and she's kind of looking up in the sky on the cliff's edge, looks very 2D traditional animation. So just like, even though it looks that way, it's not, but it's just kind of like they've been intentional about kind of making this feel kind of almost nostalgic in its animation style.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Well, and I think that coupled with the fact that Moana was great, and Encanto is great, and Frozen. Whatever, all these different projects. But there's something about, it's like, and maybe this is politically incorrect, I don't know. Okay, great. Moana's a Disney princess, sure. But I mean, that's sort of an honorary title because she's not really she's not a princess. This feels like old-fashioned Disney fairy tale telling. It's a medieval village, and it's a castle, and it's a princess, and it's a prince, and it's got all of
European
those
style.
Yeah, it's got all of those old ingredients. It's got like a thatched roof water well, like old cobblestone well, and it's got it just feels like a fairy tale. Like it's got that potential to be up there with Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella and all those others. I hear what you're saying. I don't think that's I don't think that's like politically slanted or whatever you're worried about. I think I would say Moana is a princess, and that is like fairy tale. It's just not kind of the fairy tales we're used to, because it's not the part of the world we're used to getting our fairy tales from. Right. Like we think of fairy tales.
We don't
and
consider the son of a tribal chief to be a princess.
Yes. We think of knights and dragons and that old British folklore. Yeah.
So I agree with you that this feels that way, but I think that's just more of like with our upbringing. Those are the images that come to mind when we think of what a prince and a princess and what a fairy tale is, right? Because that's where we got our fairy tales from mostly. Because of our heritage.
I like that, at least from this trailer, in the last 10, 15 years, Disney and Pixar and whoever else, they've been all about diversity. And I love that. I'm 100% for it. That's fantastic. I love that people from other parts of the world are getting these major Disney films that are honoring and true to their heritage.
Yeah, like Moana.
Sometimes it's felt like a film comes out, like it kind of reached the point where it just sort of felt like they were doing it for the sake of doing it.
It feels forced sometimes.
Sometimes it felt forced, and it was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, that was fantastic. what part of the world is Pixar going to go to next for their next story about, and so this doesn't.
I don't think Moana felt like that.
No,
but what was the one with the magic house?
Encanto.
It felt. I don't think it felt forced. But it definitely didn't feel up to par, which makes me feel like it was rushed or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Whereas this one, it doesn't feel like the diversity of it isn't something that feels like it's really forced. Like, this is just some castle European-esque kind of setting, fairy tale setting. But our main character clearly doesn't have pale white British descent skin. And so there is still diversity in there. And I love that. I think like this could be a great balance.
No, it definitely seems, well, like looking at some of the architecture, it definitely seems more like a southeastern kind of vibe,
Right. Yeah.
Like the way some of the arches and the windows and stuff are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm all for this. I'm excited. This might be one that I go see in the theater. It could just be a fun date night, like a fun outing to go, have this kind of, and especially like with the animation that we're seeing here, I think on a big screen, it could be really spectacular. So we'll wait and see. Moving on to the final trailer we're talking about today.
I don't want to talk about it.
Why?
I don't know why you sent this to me.
Okay.
It was scary.
Did you watch all of it, or did you watch some of it and decide it was scary and turn it off?
I watched all of it, and as I was watching, I was like, why? I don't want to talk about this.
So I could not be more excited for this. I didn't know this was coming. This is the third in a franchise that Kenneth Branagh has directed and starred in, playing, I'm going to butcher this, Hercule Poirot. That's probably entirely wrong. But the detective series, right? The series that kind of, in some ways, the Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig Knives Out thing kind of feels like a little bit of a weird ripoff of, but also still is really good and is kind of doing their own thing and, blah, blah, blah. But, because I think is it Agatha Christie that wrote these? Wrote the original books?
Agatha Christie wrote horror?
Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, by Agatha Christie. So this is Agatha Christie's character. Now, so going back through the series, we have Murder on the Orient Express, which I enjoyed. I saw it in the theater. Actually, I think I saw it in the theater twice. Not because not because it was like, oh God, I got to see this again, but just because it was like, well, there was other people who I was going to go see it with, right? So it just so happened that I went to go see it twice. Then I was very excited for Death on the Nile because it was a follow-up to Murder on the Orient Express, and I really loved Murder on the Orient Express and blah, blah, blah. Death on the Nile was a big departure. I didn't think it was near as good. I didn't enjoy it near as much. So that was kind of a letdown. And I think I kind of assumed at that point that either A, this franchise was kind of done, or B, I was done with this franchise. That I just, I didn't need to see anymore. However, this trailer came out, and I clicked on it and I started watching it, not even knowing that it was a part of this series. And it doesn't, and the trailer does that in a very intentional way, it seems. That you're 3/4, if not more, of the way through this trailer before you realize that this is a part of this franchise. And of course, the film that we're talking about is The Haunting in Venice. And I think that not only is this a super fresh take on this character, on this franchise, but I am so fascinated by this because if you've seen the first two or read any of the books, you'll realize or you'll know that Kenneth Branagh's character is a very meticulous and logical and no bullshit kind of guy. Certainly not the type of guy that would give time to or humor the notion of the supernatural or hauntings or demons or ghosts or whatever it is. And so I think taking this character, dropping him in this setting with this story is a recipe for something that's going to be really, really interesting. And also just to have like a horror-esque, a paranormal haunting type thing that is like sort of laced with this mystery detective kind of thing. I am so for this. You've watched the trailer. I'm guessing you're not. I'm guessing you did not enjoy this.
Nope. No.
And have you seen
with it?
Have you seen the first two in the series?
Nope.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's certainly like intentionally, like you have no interest in the Murder on the Orient Express or what's
I like mysteries and stuff like that. So I'd probably watch those, but I am not watching this.
Oh man. I didn't even think it was really that freaky. Like compared to other horror trailers that are like this seemed somewhat, like I don't think they're going for an R rating, but yeah, okay.
Spooky as all get out.
So what about it? Like what about it was just spooky?
I just got like really spooky, scary vibes, and I don't want to watch a spooky, scary movie.
Not even with a good mystery baked in.
No, I'm good.
Man, you're a wuss.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, I mean it's I guess there's not really much else to say about this.
Nope. I don't want to talk about it.
Man. Well, this is, for the record, has now become one of my most anticipated upcoming films. So,
well, you can go watch it by yourself.
be that what it is. Tell me about Indiana Jones. What do you know about Indiana Jones?
Whip, gun, archaeologist that doesn't do any archaeology. Finds treasures of rare and what would you call rare and fictitious value. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I like it. I like all three. All three of them are great.
I mean, objectively, there is 4, but
that's false, and I don't know where you got their information from.
Okay, so Indiana Jones. Listen, the first Indiana Jones movie that I ever saw, I wasn't raised on Indiana Jones. We didn't have like the VHS, it was the 90s, so we didn't own them, and we never rented them, and so that's just kind of if one of those two things didn't happen, you weren't really exposed to it. I knew who he was. I was familiar with the song, obviously. But I didn't really know, I hadn't seen Indiana Jones movies. So the first Indiana Jones movie that I saw was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I saw it, but you know what? It was still a fun experience because I saw Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull with the three elements that I think were required in order to give that specific film its best shot. One being that I had no prerequisite going into it. I had no reference. I had no, right. I wasn't comparing it to anything else. So based on that, it was fun. I don't know. I saw it at the drive-in theater. So it was already more of a relaxed summer outing movie experience and not sitting down in a theater for a cinematic adventure.
This seems very un-Brady-like.
And the third, what? What does?
To know that you're going to watch a fourth entry in a franchise and not make time to watch the first three.
Well, I didn't care. It wasn't a film franchise that I really cared about. And I'm just pulling up and doing a little bit of, what year did Crystal Skull come out? Kingdom
2006?
2006. So I would have been...
Was I right?
No, I don't know. I was just assuming.
I thought you were Googling it.
2008.
Oh, it's 2 years off.
So I was... what's the math on this? 2008 was 15 years ago. So I was 15. Like I hadn't fully morphed into the neurotic film person that I am now. And I just didn't care. It was kind of, it was the second film. I can't remember what was playing before it.
Is this the one that caused you to go, I can't watch anything now unless I watch everything that came before?
No. Oh, I think the other film that we watched that night was Iron Man. So it was a double feature. It was the first Iron Man and it was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And so the third ingredient, the third element that made it as enjoyable as it could have been was that I was sitting in the back of Aaron Mader's little blue hatchback with literally I was sitting in the rocket seat because right behind my seat was a big subwoofer.
Right.
And so when Indy jumps on a motorcycle and revs it and my seat was vibrating, I was having fun. It was a fun experience for me. I was like, oh, cool, it's aliens. I know that everyone else was like, what the hell, it's aliens? Which I maintain to this day, that's a ridiculous complaint because up until this point, we're dealing with magic and biblical artifacts and all this other stuff. So aliens is really not a massive stretch, but whatever. So it's been rumored. I mean, and when Harrison Ford did Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, he was not a spring chicken.
No.
Right? He was an older guy.
Yeah.
And
which makes you wonder what this one's going to be like.
Well, so there had been talks. There had been talks for years that we were going to get another Indiana Jones film with Harrison Ford. And there had also been talks for years that we were going to get another Indiana Jones film, but it was going to be a reboot. Because, you got to keep going. And Harrison Ford's getting too old. And it doesn't really make sense to cast someone who's also older and try to just pass them off as Harrison Ford. Just start fresh. Start over. He's a great character. He's a great IP. There's lots of stories you can tell. If you start over, then you can get back to the 40s. You can get back to Indiana Jones fighting Nazis, which is when he's at his best. And so there was a lot of merit to the idea of just starting over. And there were lots of names being thrown around. Certainly after Solo came out, a lot of people were saying, well, get that guy. That guy's a great young Harrison Ford. Get that guy. Get that guy in there to, like, he could totally pull it off. And I agree. I think he could. But as every year passed and as rumors came and went and blah, 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 the chances of us getting another Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford seemed less and less likely. Seemed more and more like a pipe dream. Because, wow, he's getting really old. Right? Like, what's the film? He's going to be 100 when it comes out. Like, what's he? That's not actually, but, yeah. Like, how can you do it? And then he showed up again as Han Solo in 2015, and I think that, breathed sort of some life into the potential. We're like, oh, well, if he can still be Han Solo, he can still be Indiana Jones. Especially nowadays, you got like stunt doubles and whatever else. Like, you can easily pull this stuff off. Whether you take it too far and it becomes unbelievable for the character at the age that he's at, that's a whole nother thing. But you can totally shoot it in a way that it looks like it's Harrison Ford doing all of these things, but it's only actually Harrison Ford for the hero shots, for the close-ups, for the dialogue. Well, we have it. It's coming. We've talked about it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is right around the corner. I'm excited for this film. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. We've heard a lot of things from people who have seen it, like high-up studio execs that are like, this is fantastic. It's really good. It sounds like they're really happy with this film. And understandably so, this is Harrison Ford's last time playing Indiana Jones. Of course it is. I mean, unless they turned around immediately and knocked out another, like, unless they were already currently right now in pre-production on a sixth one, there's no way, right? He's done. He's done. And he said he's done. But something else that he recently said is that he believes not only is he done, but that this is the final film in the series, and this is the last time I'll play the character. I anticipate that it will be the last time he appears in a film. So Harrison Ford's mentality on this is that, look, once I'm done, the character's done, right? You're not going to see another Indiana Jones movie with or without me. I have a couple of thoughts. Thought number one, and some of these may be unpopular, and that's fine. I don't care. Go suck an egg. Thought number one. Obviously, this is Harrison Ford's last time playing the character. I believe that 110%.
Easily, yeah.
I also believe that Harrison Ford believes that this will be the last time Indiana Jones appears in a film. I don't think he's blowing smoke up anyone's ass. I think he believes what he's saying. I also believe not a chance in hell. It's not even remotely, in my mind, it's not even remotely in the conversation that they won't revisit and do Indiana Jones again. And I don't think that they're wrong in doing so. Indiana Jones is arguably one of the most iconic characters in the history of film. He is. In the history of Hollywood, Indiana Jones is one of the most iconic characters of all time.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. It'd be hard to dispute that he's not at bare minimum in the top 10.
Exactly. And so from a business standpoint, maybe this one comes out, you wait 10 years, you wait for, you don't reboot it right away. But you wait 10 years, you wait for Harrison Ford to die, you wait for, whatever it is. You definitely revisit this, because as we've said over and over and over and over, the character, the actor is not the character. The actor serves the character. The character is more important than the actor, and the story is more important than the character. You only use an actor if it makes sense for the character, and you only include a character if it makes sense for the story. And so nobody is unrecastable because the character comes first. Nobody is unrecastable. And so when Harrison Ford passes away, you absolutely, whether it's continue on with a different actor, I don't think that's what they'll do. I think they'll reboot. They'll start over with a young, new Indiana Jones. They'll build, the potential for 30 years of franchise or whatever it is. But you absolutely do it. Because it's the same thing they've done with 007. And the same thing they'll continue to do with 007. Because he's too iconic. You just go, wow, Daniel Craig's too old now, so 007, it's done. It's done. We're never going to do another James Bond film because Daniel Craig's too old. No, bullshit. You recast, you find someone new, you start over, you do it again. And Indiana Jones is the exact same way. And
you're still going to get people bent out of shape about this because the difference between the two is that precedent for recasting 007 was set years ago and has continued to be a trend and a thing, and it's just an accepted part of the 007 franchise. Which is why a lot of people get bent out of shape when they reboot or recast other franchises like Indiana Jones. But I agree with you. Like, if you're gonna as long as your reboot is done right and pays homage to the original, and instead of trampling all over what's come before.
And I mean, obviously, if it's a reboot, if you're starting over, you're going to do some things differently, right? And some people will go, well, that's not the history. That's not what Indiana Jones. Well, no, that's not what the old one. That's not the canon of the old one. This is a new Indiana Jones, right? He's a little updated. He's a little modernized. He's a little like whatever it needs to be. But people are going to say, but Harrison Ford says like that it's not going to happen. And this might be the most unpopular thing that I say on the topic. Harrison Ford doesn't get a say. He doesn't get a say. Yes, Harrison Ford
gets a say on his version of Indy.
Exactly.
Because nobody can make him do it.
Right. But, yes and no. So nobody can make him play Indiana Jones again. But people go, well, it's his character. No, it's not. He's the actor that's played the character thus far. But the second Harrison Ford signed a contract to be in this new Indiana Jones film, he doesn't even get any say what his character says or does in the film. It's not his character.
It depends on what his contract says, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, the director and the script and, like whatever else trumps him. And so there seems to be this idea in movie fandom. Well, you can't recast Luke. You can't recast Luke because it's, Mark Hamill is Luke. Right. Mark Hamill is Luke. Luke is not Mark Hamill. Luke is a character in Star Wars that can be played by any actor that they cast to play this character within Star Wars. Right? And so it's tricky. And I get
a really good example with that within the same continuity and film franchise would be Darth Vader.
Sure.
Right? Darth Vader's been played by 5 different actors.
Exactly. Now it'd be strange to change his voice at this point because that's a break in canon. That's like that's just not what he sounds like. If all of a sudden Vader's got a Spanish accent,
sounds like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, then that's confusing and strange and blah, blah, blah. But, how many different guys have been in that damn suit?
Well, the original trilogy had
David Prowse.
Three actors.
Right, yes. Most iconically, David Prowse, who got all bent out of shape and butt hurt because they didn't use his voice.
So like two actors in the suit and then one doing the voice, I believe.
Yeah,
for the original trilogy.
Yeah. If you
And then
include,
Mark
are you
Hamill- or
concluding
not Mark Hamill.
concluding Sebastian Shaw in that?
Sebastian Shaw in
Like when
was he in the original trilogy?
yeah, when he played Unmasked Vader,
Oh, right. Okay, so 4 then. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was 4.
which was
And
the other
then-
thing David Prowse was all bent out of shape about because he was like,
5 would be
finally I'm going to
Christensen.
get my face on screen, and they're like,
No.
April Fools, sucker. Yeah.
Yeah. So 5. I was right. Yeah, 5 total then.
So, anyways, you know, I get it. I get it. I get that it's weird. I get that you don't want to picture anyone other than Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. But you're just kind of cheating yourself by doing that, right? I don't want to picture anyone other than Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But he's not going to play Wolverine anymore after Deadpool. So
That
what?
we
So
know
I
of.
just don't ever get Wolverine ever again because I'm putting my foot down and I don't want to see anyone other than Hugh Jackman play Wolverine? Oh, that's stupid. Right? So it is what it is, right? Deep down, I don't want to picture anyone other than Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know? So
Yeah.
anyways.
I think this is going to be, yeah, like you said, not up to Harrison. I think the film, I'm reserving judgment on the film. I'm being very kind of tentative after the Crystal Skull incident. I think one of the reasons I think I was kind of Crystal Skull I have issues with Crystal Skull, besides its bad script, was there was leading up to the film, there was a lot of hype that this would be the film where Indy passes the hat. He passes the torch, and it would be passed on to who would be his son.
Shia LaBeouf's character.
Yeah. Which didn't happen. And I think that...
Thank God.
I think Shia LaBeouf being the new Indiana Jones, even though I like him as an actor, he's definitely not the person to take the series forward. And I don't, I think having the series move forward in a linear time frame where somehow you're following somebody else instead of Indiana Jones. I don't know how you maintain the title of the franchise Indiana Jones if it's not Indiana Jones as the lead. But I think that would be like really interesting. And like you were saying, the Nazis are usually like the antagonistic group in these films that he's fighting. Well, I think like if you think of the timeline of Indiana Jones, the next his antagonist is usually whoever the U.S. government's up against. So you could have like a Vietnam adventure, or you could have some kind of Cold War Russian antagonistic adventure.
Yeah, which is basically what we got in Crystal Skull.
Were they
up
Russians
against the
in Crystal Skull?
Yeah. Yep.
I thought they were Germans.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
but
yeah, like I think there's a lot of capacity for storytelling if the mantle is passed. I think it just gets a little confusing with the titling of the film then, because Indiana Jones isn't the lead anymore.
Yeah.
So, like in my mind, the best person to play Indiana Jones in continuity is somebody who's not related to Indiana Jones. I think the mantle should be passed the same way Indiana Jones kind of inherited the treasure hunter mantle. Right? In the third film, he got the hat right at the beginning of the film. We find out why he's scared of snakes, how he kind of got bit by the bug of adventure and treasure hunting, and this treasure hunter gave him his iconic hat. I think he should pass it on in kind of a similar way, have some kind of a secondary protagonist in a film kind of competing with Harrison Ford, who's old and can't keep up, and they're both kind of fighting against the same antagonist, but also kind of against each other and working together. And at some point he kind of passes that torch. It's like, I'm too old for this, kid. And here's the hat. Go get him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that would be more iconic. But then, of course, he's not a Jones, and it'd be weird for him to have the same name since Indiana comes from his dog. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we just have Ki Hu Kwan comes back, and it's just Short Round's wearing that with the whip.
Yeah. The Adventures of Short Round.
Huh? Could be.
But yeah, I don't think that him being done, sure. The franchise isn't dead.
No,
the
there's
franchise
no way.
won't die. It makes too much money, like you're saying. Even if I were on the line, taking the side of the franchise should die with Harrison, that's never going to happen. Like you said.
Which, for the record, I thought you would be. So,
I mean, I've probably softened to the idea of franchises not getting reboots, just because we live in an age where everything gets rebooted and it's inevitable and I can't stop it.
Right.
Right.
If you can't beat them.
Yeah. If you can't beat them, give them a chance and beat them over the head if they do it badly.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our final topic. Blade.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes.
Originally. Yeah. Although, honestly, I think Mahershala Ali is going to do an incredible job.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's if you have to recast,
really good casting.
That's who you pick. Yeah.
If they can ever get it shot.
When was, I gotta look this up. When was Blade announced?
I'm going to guess 6 years ago.
When was the new Blade announced? It was first. No, it's a little aggressive. It was first announced in 2019. So
4 years.
It's still been a hot second since this
4
has
years.
been announced.
I'm not that far off.
Blade.
2 years. That's 4 years.
No, exactly. No. I'm not saying it's, entirely. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like beating you up here.
All right.
And so Blade, which when it was announced, was set to come out, just to make sure I've got this right, and that's not like a new updated one that's completely inaccurate. No, yeah, it seems... So when Blade was announced, it was set to come out after... after the Marvels and Loki season 2. So that hasn't passed.
We should have already gotten it, essentially.
No. We haven't gotten Loki season 2 yet, and we haven't gotten the Marvels.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood. For some reason in my head, I was thinking of after... Go on. Never mind. I completely misunderstood that and misheard that.
No worries. So we haven't blown past that window yet. So we're getting there though.
We're
still doing okay. And Blade, now there's been so much drama around this film, losing directors and scripts not being up to par and blah blah blah. And then Mahershala Ali was all pissed because he's like, "Come on, what are we doing? Like,
get your crap together.
I'm getting sick of this. I'm gonna walk." It's supposed to start shooting in like 5 weeks. We're right around the corner. And they've confirmed shooting in 5 weeks for a 2024 release, which is a very aggressive turnaround time for a film like this. Very aggressive. To start shooting in June, start principal photography in June of 2023, and then release early September of 2024, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. By the time you get everything shot and you do all your post-production, your special effects work, your marketing campaign, your everything else, it's going to be tight. And I wouldn't be surprised if that September 2024 release date ends up getting bumped back. But the news that we're here to talk about today is that although we're 5 weeks out from shooting, and there is a script put together, apparently it's still a largely problematic script. And so the True Detective creator, Nick Pizzolatto, has been brought on to do some rewrites, to touch up the script. However, there's always small changes that are made and a little bit of rewrites here and a little bit of rewrites there, and what's it mean? How much of it is actually being rewritten? Well, we don't know for sure how much is being rewritten, but we do know that it's enough that Nick is going to be considered a writer on the film and be eligible for writing award. Like he could, they're not going to win an Oscar for script writing, but if they were, he would be eligible. So it's not an insignificant part of this script that they're rewriting. What the hell is happening? What happened to Marvel, man?
Too big for its britches.
This is the BS that you expect from DC. This is the BS that you definitely expect from Star Wars. Marvel has always, up until this point, from a writer, director, actor's standpoint, with a couple of very small exceptions, has come off as a fairly well-oiled machine. And this film seems to be some ridiculous outlier in that process. I don't know. You're definitely more excited for this film than I am. I can tell you right now, just because I didn't grow up with. I'm not nostalgic with the Wesley Snipes Blade films. I think they're good.
Which you should be. Anybody who loves the Marvel franchise should love those films, because really those are the three films that kickstarted the MCU. They're not technically part of the MCU, but those are Marvel's first official, standalone Marvel-only products.
Right. So anyways, I don't know. This just seems like a mess, and it takes a film that I'm already just sort of lukewarm towards and hurts it significantly. I don't know. Is that, am I out to lunch here? This is not confidence inspiring.
Yeah.
And
no.
I am losing more and more interest in this film almost every day that passes. But I want to pass this off to you because you are, like we said, definitely more of a fan of this than I am. And so, tell me what your thoughts are on this. Tell me if this hurts your interest. What's the deal here?
So this would, this definitely hurts interest. It maybe not interest, but makes me worried about quality and the capability of Marvel to tell this story well, for sure. How can it not? There's rewrites and haven't even started shooting, and the timeline. I wonder, what it just makes you wonder what's going on at Marvel. We've talked about in the past episode about how essentially Marvel's been told by the bigger dogs at Disney to stop making so much and start making less at higher quality. And I think this is an obvious display of that, trying to make a whole lot but not doing it well.
Right.
And yeah, like I want it to be good. I do. I love the Wesley Snipes trilogy. It's really good. But Wesley Snipes did a great job as Blade.
Are they all really good though? Because I think I've heard that like
the third one gets harped on a bit for not being as good. It's definitely the weaker of the three.
Right.
But I still thought it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it kind of became more of a team up. This kind of team up movie where he teams up with a couple other human hunters, and one of them is our boy Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
And there's a lot of quips and stuff, and like one of the main antagonist vampires is actually the wrestler Triple H.
Right.
So the acting kind of varies in terms of the talent on screen. Yeah. But I think I like in terms of a trilogy, it fits into the trilogy nicely, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a fan of it though. And this one, yeah, being a fan of it and hearing the troubles that this one's having and wanting to be a fan of this new foray into the Blade and kind of the darker side of Marvel kind of makes me a little worried.
I'm just
especially when they kind of already dipped their toe in that world with Werewolf by Night.
Right.
And it was Werewolf by Night was so good. And to hear the chaos coming out of Blade, it's like, oh no. It's being set up so well for a dark MCU.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just looking up here. Something you said. I'm not doubting you. But it got me interested and curious. Yeah, so Blade was the first because there was only other really one Marvel live action film before Blade, and it was produced by Lucasfilm, not Marvel. But it's important, that being Howard the Duck, obviously. It's right. Important to note though the difference between like what you said is true and what you said is not necessarily true. So, technically, if we're talking about Marvel Studios being the production company, then the first Marvel Studios film, the first film that was released under Marvel having their own production studio, was Iron Man. Prior to that, they were still like Blade. Yes, Blade is a Marvel thing, but it was done under Marvel Enterprises, which didn't have their own production company. Like they didn't have their own studio, and so it's teamed up with Eamon Ra Films, right? And so the first time we really get into it just being Marvel is Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, right? Because X-Men, you've got 20th Century Fox, Spider-Man is Columbia Pictures, Blade 2 was New Line Cinema. So yeah, it's yes and no. It was the first good Marvel film.
It was a Marvel film that property. Marvel had a direct hand in and say in how it was being made.
Yes.
And it showed that a Marvel property could be done properly and create a universe.
Why, you don't like Howard the Duck?
I mean, I've actually never seen it.
What? You've never watched Howard the Duck?
No.
It's a Marvel property. It's a Lucasfilm property.
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's got Leah Thompson in it.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins.
I think I'll be all right.
My goodness. Yeah, it's not great. It's Jeffrey Jones is in it. You're hurting me here. You're hurting me. Okay, so yeah,
You've seen it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, several times. Several times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was right in that era of like when Ninja Turtles came out too, and it was like that same sort of like
puppetry,
Jim Henson style, foam latex suit of a typically cartoon character, but in live action kind of thing. And so, I've seen it. It feels very similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the first one from the 80s.
Right.
So, okay, well, that's the news, sir. That's it.
That's all?
That's it. Yeah.
That's all?
That's it. But stick around this week, because we're going to talk about a movie. We're going to talk about Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Yep.
Well, I guess if we have to.
Yep. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed down below. Check out our Patreon. It's a wicked way for as little as $1 a month to support the show and get some fun goodies in return. And check out our merch store, because we got merch. T-shirts, socks. We don't have socks. Hats, water bottles, hoodies. Nice hoodies. Real nice hoodies. Do you like hoodies?
I love hoodies.
Yeah. Do you like Movie Men hoodies?
I don't have one yet.
What is the piece of merch that you said you own a piece of merch? What do you own?
I have like one of the baseball tees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Are you just saying that?
No, it is. I like it.
Oh, okay. Do you ever wear it?
Every once in a while.
Wow. Good for you. I need to get myself some merch.
I got mine as a Patreon supporter though. So
one more reason to sign up for Patreon.
There you go. Yeah.